Hello, PANCAKE. Did you know about the existence of a giant bloody lake? What are the mysterious alien pillars of light that can be seen in the dark sky? And why are there three suns shining overhead? In this video, you will learn about 13 of the most mesmerizing and powerful natural phenomena. In the next few minutes, I will show you something that will take your breath away. Make yourself comfortable, and let's get started. To the throne, terrible but beautiful. In the north of Tanzania lies a mysterious lake. Its unusual appearance sometimes creates entire alien landscapes. Throughout the year, it constantly changes color, and its shoreline, almost 35 miles in length and width, although the maximum depth is only about 10 feet. On the blood-red surface, there are almost no waves. Meanwhile, entire flocks of flamingos peacefully stroll on the water. But there's no need to worry about these birds, as this place is their home. The water in the lake is very salty. Any small animal or bird that falls into it dies and turns into a gruesome mummy. The temperature in some parts of the lake reaches up to 122 degrees in Fahrenheit. Add to this the terrible smell. These seemingly harsh conditions are a good protection for the lesser flamingos. The temperature allows eggs to be incubated at any time of the year, and the smell prevents predators from even approaching the place. But the main phenomenon of the lake is its blood-red waters. Fortunately, it happens only once a year. In the hottest months of February and March, the lake changes its color. In some areas, it is covered with a salty crust of a rich red color. The answer lies in the high concentration of carbonate, sodium, and large colonies of cyanobacteria. The water becomes very viscous, and the smell intensifies. Swimming in such water is, of course, not advisable. Any touch, and a very severe burn forms immediately. However, the sight of skeletons and mummies alone is enough to understand this. Black storm. When a huge flock of birds moves chaotically in the sky with loud cries, it makes you uneasy. Panic in the chest. Questions in the head. Is the apocalypse approaching? Has Alfred Hitchcock returned to life and is filming a new part of the birds? Or is it an experiment that has gotten out of control? Don't worry, friends. It's just a murmuration. Behind this complex and unfamiliar word lies the grand and impressive dance of starlings. The coordinated flight of hundreds of individuals can take on the most incredible shapes. Most often, these are some abstract figures. Living clouds shrink and expand. Suddenly, it turns into a question mark. Someone sees a face or many faces. And a second later, it's already one insanely gigantic bird. Looking at such a beautiful phenomenon, one might wonder, how do they not collide? The flight speed of starlings during murmuration reaches 31 miles per hour. There is also no leader in this large flock. So how do they manage it? The famous ornithologist Edmund Selous in the 1930s suggested that birds use telepathy. But by the 1950s, a group of scientists proved that avoiding collisions, they are helped by high coordination and genetic memory. And in 2013, another group established yet another factor. During flight, starlings watch their neighbors. Each bird tracks up to 7 individuals at a time. This is the fastest reaction in the world to the actions of other members of the flock. Although scientists have not yet found an exact answer as to why murmuration occurs, most lean towards 2 theories. Protection from predators and training fight skills in the young. A storm like the wrath of the gods. Above the volcano's crater rises a huge black column. Fiery streams flow down. The smell of sulfur spreads throughout the area, and the entire region is instantly covered in ash. But as if that weren't enough, lightning suddenly flashes in the very center. Dirty or volcanic lightning is a very beautiful but extremely dangerous phenomenon. It has been known since very ancient times. It usually appeared in culture as the wrath of the chief god of the pantheon. In ancient Greece, this lightning was considered the wrath of Hephaestus. The most famous mention of a dirty discharge is associated with the eruption of Vesuvius. The phenomenon of a dirty storm is quite rare. This occurs due to the collision and fragmentation of negatively charged ash particles with positively charged volcanic gases. Plumes with lightning can sometimes reach up to 27 miles in height. And the more particles there are, the more flashes occur. This phenomenon is most often observed at the Sakurajima volcano in Japan. Operator Mark Siglad captured one of them and described the event as one of the versions of the end of the world. The shock wave and sound occurred with a delay of a few seconds after we saw the eruption. This short interval made me quite anxious. I couldn't have imagined how strong it would be. The tripod and the camera on it started shaking. I felt the breath from the very depths of the earth. It came as a very short yet powerful gust. The largest number of mud lightning was recorded during the eruption of the geological volcano in Iceland. From May 11th to 20th, several dozen flashes were recorded. Each of them was accompanied by loud claps of thunder. Hypnotic light. What do you think are the chances that your reality will turn into a computer game? A simple evening walk turns into a quest. You're just walking down the street when a pillar of light appears nearby, as if inviting you. Or maybe it's intelligent alien ships marking their landing spot. I assure you, there's no mysticism or conspiracy theory here. Our main star, the Sun, at a certain position 6 degrees above the horizon or 20 degrees below it, can reflect in quite a peculiar way. Almost horizontal flat faces of hexagonal or columnar ice crystals create an unusual phenomenon. Frozen water particles in the air refract the sunlight, and as a result, we see huge bright pillars. But this can be seen not only in the evening. Cirrus clouds during the day can also cause a light pillar to appear. This is related to the same ice crystals, but in much larger quantities. In the mid-latitudes, natural light pillars are almost non-existent, but they can occur with the help of the same crystals, but from artificial sources. Like a powerful flashlight or a bright sign. A true wonder can be seen in those regions of our planet where low temperatures occur regularly or constantly. For example, Niagara Falls in winter. St. Elmo's fire. Jules Verne in his novel Journey to the Center of the Earth wrote about a small wandering light at the tip of the mast. Similar lights appeared during a storm on the masts of the Pequod in Moby Dick, and the ancient Greeks called them the fires of Castor and Pollux. Or the constellation Gemini. What are these mysterious flashes of light and lightning? On the sharp ends of tall buildings, towers, sharp rocks. Sometimes bundles of light can appear, which are called St. Elmo's fire. The high intensity of the electric field at an incredible 100,000 volts per meter is a powerful source for this phenomenon. Discharges occur during thunderstorms and in winter during blizzards, and sand or dust storms are no exception. The cases described in the books above and historical records show that they also occur during sea storms. Very often, these flashes can be observed through the porthole on the surface of airplane fuselages. Once, these lights almost became a harbinger of a terrible air disaster. In 1982, a British Airways Boeing was flying from the United Kingdom to New Zealand. While flying over the island of Java, the airliner flew into a column of ash from the Galunggung volcano. The pilots realized this because of the suddenly appearing lights on the windshield. It seemed as if they covered the entire plane. The electronics began to gradually fail. At the same time, the ash disabled all 4 engines. Fortunately, the crew managed to restart an engine and land at Jakarta Airport. None of the 248 passengers and 15 crew members were injured. The Ice Age is coming. How would you feel when instead of a strong coffee, you're awakened by a living wall of ice? A mug with a hot drink in your hands and a chilling cold throughout your body. Creepy, right? An unusual and impressive natural phenomenon that occurs during strong and persistent low temperatures is called an ice tsunami. It represents a rapid movement of ice and snow, which can occur in coastal areas or on ice covers of bodies of water. This is usually associated with strong storms or winds. As a result, large-scale movements of ice masses can be observed. Sometimes they can reach significant sizes and pose a danger to coastal structures and infrastructure. Most often, ice tsunamis can occur on seas, large lakes, and rivers. This event can have serious consequences for cities and agricultural fields. One winter morning, the residents of the coastal town of Manitoba in Canada felt as if they were on the set of a disaster movie. In 2013, millions of ice chunks joined together into a giant wall and began their march. In some places, the height reached 33 feet. Witnesses of this phenomenon compared the noise of the ice surge to thunder, the clatter of train wheels, and countless windows shattering simultaneously. In some areas, the cold wave passed through houses. Long-standing and thick trees snapped like twigs. The event lasted only 15 minutes. That was enough for several buildings to be damaged or completely destroyed. A similar event was observed in Minnesota, on Lake Mille Lacs. A storm wind with a force of miles per hour carried tons of ice onto the shore of the town of Anya. Locals barely had time to grab their belongings from their backyards. The resorts built as close as possible to the water were the most unfortunate. False sun. Many consider watching the sunrise a wonderful way to start the day. Some claim that it will surely bring good luck. Just imagine you are standing in a beautiful, wide meadow or near a cliff edge. The darkness begins to be pierced by a bright light. There it is. But wait, where did the second sun come from? A third one? Don't rush to buy a lottery ticket just yet. Take a moment to admire this scene a little longer. A parhelion is another type of optical phenomenon. During it, bright spots appear in the sky that resemble the sun. They are usually located on either side of the real sun. It occurs due to the refraction of sunlight and ice crystals present in the atmosphere. This event is often called false suns. You can observe this at any time of the day. However, parhelia are most vivid when the sun is high in the sky. An important condition for their appearance can be a very large number of frozen water droplets. These, in turn, form in cirrus clouds at an altitude of more than feet. This phenomenon is often observed during the cold season, especially in winter. In 2021, residents of the Finnish city of Sakamo witnessed real magic. 3 suns appeared above the horizon at once. They were connected by a golden ring, and those who photographed this scene were even more amazed. In the photo, you could see 4 suns at once. It seems we now know where the real lucky ones live. A mountain that someone made wear a hat. Imagine you've climbed hundreds of meters up to see the legendary Mount Fuji. The weather is almost perfect, and nothing obstructs the view. The freezing cameras barely manage to capture the wonder of the world when you notice something amusing. The majestic Fuji has put on a cloud like a cap, apparently to keep its peak from freezing. Congratulations! You were lucky to see a lenticular or lens-shaped cloud. An amazing natural phenomenon that inspires all. These lens or shield-shaped clouds usually appear at mid-altitude. Most often, from 6,500 to 19,500 feet. They form as a result of specific meteorological conditions. Moist and cool air encounters obstacles, such as a mountain or hill. Lenticular clouds have a relatively stable shape and can maintain their features for quite a while. By the way, lenticular clouds often create unforgettable visual effects at sunset or sunrise. Light refracts through their thin structures, giving them amazing colors and shades. It's important to note something significant. This is not just a beautiful atmospheric formation. These air caps are an important part of climate study. Lenticular clouds are of great interest to scientists, and of course, for simple enthusiasts who just love watching the sky. One of the most beautiful displays occurred over the Pilaret mountain range on the island of Crete. 2 cloud caps simultaneously covered the peak. Interestingly, while regular clouds drifted by, the lenticular ones remained stationary. Amazing, isn't it? Fiery dances. During the terrible fires in California, locals could witness sights that sent chills down their spines. The tongues of flame suddenly became tall and thin. Then they began their movement, and the direction was impossible to predict. A rare phenomenon where 2 elements meet at once. This is called a dancing fire. Several separate burning spots merge into one powerful whirlwind of flame. This occurs due to a strong upward flow, hot air, and the rotation of air masses. A fire tornado can reach an enormous height of up to 328 feet and a diameter of 98 feet. Such a spectacle can spread over very significant distances. The wind speed inside the tornado can exceed 62 miles per hour, making it extremely destructive. The temperature at the center can reach several thousand degrees Fahrenheit. Anything that finds itself in the path of such a nightmare will be destroyed. This phenomenon is often accompanied by thick smoke, adding to the grim and terrifying scene. A fire hurricane is not just a beautiful and mesmerizing sight. It is a serious threat to human life and health. It is one of the most dangerous and destructive natural phenomena and has catastrophic consequences. A similar fire tornado in Los Angeles destroyed 12,000 structures. The damage amounted to over $57 billion. A celebration of colors and wonders in the sky. How would you describe the Northern Lights? What words would you choose to put the unreal and intangible onto paper? Difficult? Of course, but don't worry, you don't always need to reshape what your eyes have seen. Aurora Borealis, or the Northern Lights, is one of the most breathtaking natural phenomena on our planet. This amazing spectacle occurs as a result of the interaction between the solar wind and Earth's magnetosphere. Charged particles from the sun's streams collide with our planet's magnetic field. They rush towards the poles, and it is there that the miracle happens. As a result of this complex process, the sky is illuminated with amazing hues of various colors. Green and red, yellow and blue. Sometimes, even purple. Each color appears depending on the elements with which the solar wind interacts. Oxygen creates green and red shades, while nitrogen is responsible for blue and purple tones. Especially bright auroras can be observed after solar flares. At this moment, a huge cloud of charged particles rushes towards Earth. The Northern Lights can be observed from September to April. To do this, you need to be within a radius 1,553 miles from the North Pole, preferably in clear and frosty weather away from city lights. But no land can boast of this phenomenon. Auroras also exist on other planets. For example, on Jupiter, they are thousands of times brighter than those on Earth. And Saturn's auroras reach an impressive height of 4,000 feet. The Northern Lights remain one of the most sought-after natural phenomena to observe, attracting thousands of tourists from all over the world. It is a true wonder of nature that makes us marvel at the beauty and complexity of our cosmic home. The rarest Northern Lights occurred in Denmark in 2023. For about an hour, witnesses of the event observed a blood-red trail of light. Pancakes on the water, but not those. It's a cute and fun pastime to skip stones on the water. Some people have such high skill that with just one throw of a stone, they can create up to 10 skips on the water's surface. But what if the water itself could do the same? And sometimes even on a larger scale. It all starts when the air temperature drops below zero. The river hasn't completely frozen over yet. A thin layer of ice forms on the water's surface, which begins to crack into separate pieces under the influence of the current, or wind. Ice pancakes can be observed on open bodies of water during the cold season. Round pieces of ice float on the surface. Strangely, they resemble giant pancakes with diameters ranging from a few inches to a whole foot. They seem to dance on the water's surface. Sometimes they connect with each other and form entire ice fields. But wait, it gets even more interesting. These ice pieces start to spin in the water like little tops. Thanks to the constant movement, the current helps them acquire a perfectly round shape, just like a snowball becomes round when you roll it on the ground. As they spin, each piece captures new layers of ice, gradually increasing in size and becoming stronger. This phenomenon is especially common in northern latitudes, where winters are harsh and rivers freeze gradually. For example, Alaska, Canada, and Finland. An unusual place for the formation of ice donuts was Lake Okanagan in British Columbia. Residents of the city of Penticton noticed hundreds and hundreds of circles made of ice and snow. Astonished by this event, locals organized entire photo sessions, and Okanagan gained worldwide fame. Living stones. Fairy tale. Or not. Close your eyes and imagine the scene. Huge boulders weighing up to 771 pounds slowly glide across the clay bottom of the lake. Behind them stretch long tracks several miles long. You find yourself in the mysterious Death Valley. There, in the dried-up racetrack playa, one of the most amazing natural phenomena occurs: the moving stones. These mysterious travelers move only once every 2 to 3 years. And when it happens, they are capable of covering impressive distances. Small stones can crawl more than 650 feet in a single winter. The tracks left by these boulders also vary. Boulders with a ribbed underside leave straight tracks. Those lying on their flat sides seem to wander, constantly changing direction. For a long time, this remained one of nature's great mysteries. People tried to explain it with supernatural forces. Science, with magnetic fields. The truth turned out to be much more interesting. All thanks to a unique combination of conditions. This action begins when, after rare rains, water accumulates in the southern part of the lake. At night, they freeze and form thin ice sheets only 20 millimeters thick. An inch. Then the wind comes into play. A 90-mile-per-hour gust picks up these floating ice sheets along with the stones, and then the stones begin their slow journey at a speed of an inch per minute. This amazing natural phenomenon continues to attract the attention of scientists and tourists from all over the world. Only in 2014 were researchers able to directly record the movement of the stones using special sensors and cameras for the first time. They finally uncovered the mystery that had captivated people's imaginations for centuries. The voice of the Earth. And last but not least in our top list, a mysterious hum deep within the Earth's crust. Some consider it the result of drilling machines, while others see it as an attempt by a hidden world to communicate with us. The Taos hum mystery, which has puzzled scientists and locals for decades. The low humming sound resembles the distant hum of a jet engine or the operation of a massive transformer. Periodically, it is heard in different parts of the planet. Most often, it is recorded in the American city of Taos, New Mexico. The phenomenon first attracted widespread attention in the 90s. At that time, a group of researchers began documenting complaints from local residents about the strange hum. Strangely, not everyone can hear it. According to some reports, only about 2% of the population could perceive this sound. In rare cases, it can be so loud that it disrupts sleep and even causes headaches. The Taos hum has a characteristic frequency of about 30 to 40 Hz. The lower range of human hearing is 16 Hz. The volume of the sound can change depending on the time of day and weather conditions. Metal objects like water pipes and railroad tracks amplified the perception of the hum. There are several hypotheses about the nature of this phenomenon. It could be infrasound from distant volcanoes or earthquakes, as well as low-frequency electromagnetic waves and geological processes in the Earth's crust. But the main theory is anthropogenic sources like industrial facilities and military equipment. The mystery of the Taos hum also lies in the fact that it is extremely difficult to capture with conventional instruments. Researchers have set up sensitive microphones in places where residents regularly hear the hum, but the equipment often registered nothing. This has given rise to many conspiracy theories. From secret military experiments to the influence of extraterrestrial civilizations, despite numerous studies, there is still no consensus on the cause of the Taos hum. It continues to be one of the most intriguing mysteries of modern science and shows us how much remains unknown and unexplained exists in our world. Well, dear viewers of the channel, today you have surely learned about many unusual and previously hidden from your curiosity natural phenomena. We hope this was the most fascinating journey into the world of events on our planet. Tell us in the comments what you knew before and what was a discovery for you. See you in the next informative video. Everyone, pancake.